Hello, hello. There we go. We've got audio, people. Let me just double check. Do we have audio? Come on. Hello, hello. We've got. There we go. Yes, we do. That's quite a lag we have there. All right, this is what happens when you go live. What is up, everybody? That kind of threw me off a little bit, but appreciate anyone who is listening to this in the future, because right now it doesn't seem. Oh, we do have a few people that have joined in over from X. What's up, Juice? Welcome to the live stream. Sorry that we had some technical difficulties. I guess that's what happens when you're doing things on the fly and you're testing new stuff out. But awesome, guys. I wanted to come on here live because today it is a freaking exciting day. We've got so much exciting things happening in the crypto space. And crypto, Ripple, XRP. I mean, I can't wait to show you guys. You've probably already seen this because I know that you guys over in the XRP community, you're just on top of the news like a hawk. So I'm sure you've seen what's going on. But first of all, I wanted to say, last week, XRP Las Vegas was phenomenal. It was so good to be able to spend time with the community, seeing so many of you out there, but with the team as well. We were there at XRP Las Vegas with the Merlin booth, so it was really cool to be able to spend time there and talking to people. You know, the XRP Las Vegas event is always a special one. We were at Bitcoin conference last year, or at least I should say I was at the Bitcoin conference last year. It's not the same, guys. There's something special about the XRP community for sure. And so it just felt very at home. The energy was amazing, but despite the fact that we're in this kind of weird market right now, it was still really nice as far as like the conviction that people have. So it was just really good to spend time with everybody. I wish I had some photos pulled up here, but I don't have any photos from the event ready, because today I really want to dive into something that was awesome that I saw that came out today. It involved two cryptos that I'm super excited about, XRP for a long time, and another one that I have personally been investing in for the past year. And so there's a direct collaboration here between Ripple, XRP, and this other cryptocurrency, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. But like I said, appreciate everyone that's joining in. If you are new here, my name is Mario, and in this channel, I will be talking about crypto. I will be talking about AI. I will be talking about technology. And if you want to find out more information, or I guess know more about me, check the links down below. There will be a link for the XRP Investor, which is a project that I created and that I run. It's very centered around XRP, so it's not for anybody who's super advanced. It's actually designed for people that are somewhat starting to maybe intermediate, to where you can get on this platform and see everything there is to know about the XRP Investor. You don't have to be jumping in through very different places, CoinMarketCap for pricing, maybe going over to X for news and sentiment and all that stuff. Everything is in one centralized place. That's why I created the XRPinvestor.com. You will also see a link for Merlin. Merlin is the smartest way to track your crypto. I am a part of the company and super proud to say that I'm a part of the company. We are not just a crypto tracker, but the smartest way to track your crypto. But we are also Nova Crypto. What's up, man? It was good to meet you. Good to meet you last week, man. But yeah, Merlin, the exit strategies. And so last week was actually super awesome. We were over at XRP Las Vegas, like I was saying, and Merlin, we hosted two breakout sessions where we showed people how Merlin works. We showed people how the exit strategy builder works, and the feedback was absolutely incredible versus last year. And this is the interesting thing, is that last year we were kind of peak bull run, right? So last year we were navigating this bull run of crypto, and so as we talked, I mean, the Bitcoin conference, you couldn't talk about an exit strategy because Bitcoiners don't sell. But even XRP Las Vegas, the XRP event last year, people were just like, well, the conversation wasn't the same. There was a bit of a pushback about the idea of having an exit strategy, selling, taking profits. But this year, man, was it different. It just shows that the sentiment, whatever's going on. Sometimes I'm looking up here, guys. And my camera's down here. My main monitor is above the camera. But yeah, the sentiment changes so much when the market conditions change, right? And so this time around, people were just like, well, yeah, I wish I had sold some last year, or I wish I had sold some more. I wish I had capitalized. And so the feedback that we got from Merlin was a lot better. The even just the exit strategy builder, what we've put together was just different. This channel is not sponsored by Merlin. It's not sponsored by the XRP Investor. I just want to make sure to say that these are just projects that I'm a part of. The XRP Investor I created solely. Merlin, I'm a part of the team. I'm also an investor in the company, and I'm also the Chief Experience Officer. So I run the customer experience over at Merlin. And so I'm just really proud to talk about these products, and that's why I'll make sure to talk about them all the time. It's, it's what I do. It's my companies. And so I'm just super proud to talk about them. But guys, yeah, so if you want to follow me as well, my social media links will be down below. Appreciate you, Juice. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to go ahead and get this over to, let me see if this is working this time. Come on, give me the chat. Last time I was trying to see if I could get the chat shared over here to the screen. And then I kind of figured it out after we finished the stream, but I want to make sure, let's see, because I don't think anything is showing. I do have a live stream. I do have a chat here on the side, but nothing is showing here on things. So I'll figure it out for next time, but I'm going to share my screen with you because I want to go over the breaking news that we had today. And give me just a moment here to get the screen over. But we had some really positive news out of Ripple, out of XRP, and another crypto that I've been accumulating for the past year. Let's see. Man, it's a technology challenge day today, isn't it? Why is my screen share not coming through? Come on. All right. And here it is. Done. And you won't show. My goodness. We're really having some challenges today. What can I do here? Oh, there it is. Took a minute. Cool. All right, let me just make sure that it comes through here on the live stream. It should be. Yeah, today has been a bit of a challenge to get stuff going, but it should be coming through for Yep, there it is. Okay, cool. All right, so here we have it. Today, Mastercard, Ondo Finance, Kinexys by JP Morgan, and Ripple successfully completed a landmark transaction connecting a public blockchain with interbank settlement rails. That is huge, guys. So Ondo is that other crypto that I've been accumulating for the past year. Ondo has got massive partnerships. They are, in my opinion, one of the largest tokenization plays that we have in the crypto space. Not only do they work with Ripple, but they also work with the largest asset manager, the elephant in the room. Who's the elephant in the room that joined crypto space a couple of years ago and took Bitcoin ETFs public? That was the big thing as we were having Good Morning Crypto. I always said the minute that BlackRock got involved with crypto and filed for their ETF application, it's like things just all of a sudden started moving. We had ETF applications lingering for a couple of years. The SEC under Gary Gensler was just not willing to really do anything about it, even with Bitcoin, which we knew they were kind of giving clarity on. But as soon as the BlackRock application got pushed in, it's like things just started moving. And then all of a sudden, I think it was January of 23, was 24, then all of a sudden it gets approved and we have all these ETFs for Bitcoin get approved. And so they have a partnership with Ondo, and Larry Fink, and I wish I had the video pulled up. I can probably pull up the video in just a second. Larry Fink has gone on mainstream media multiple times, not once, not twice, but multiple times at this point. And every time that he's having this conversation around crypto, he says, and I'm paraphrasing, but he says along the lines of, Bitcoin, we're super excited about Bitcoin, we're super excited about crypto, but we are even more excited about tokenization. And tokenization it's a massive conversation because there are trillions of dollars that can be tokenized. There are trillions of dollars that can enter the space through tokenization. And so what we're seeing today is we're seeing a use case. We're seeing a test of a use case that took place in a partnership between a few institutions. So we can see that Ripple was involved, Kinexys by JP Morgan, Mastercard. And what they did was, and I'm going to just read here the post that I did through the XRP Investor to kind of explain it. But they completed a near real-time cross-border, cross-bank redemption of tokenized U.S. Treasuries with Kinexys by JP Morgan, Mastercard, and Ripple. In the pilot, Ripple redeemed tokenized assets issued on the XRP Ledger. Mastercard's multi-token network routed payment instructions, and Kinexys settled US dollar proceeds to Ripple's bank account in Singapore. The transaction points to continued institution testing of XRPL for tokenized asset settlement. So that's the beauty of tokenization. What are we seeing here? We're not seeing Ripple, and we know that they have the infrastructure to do tokenization, right? But we're seeing a partnership between multiple institutions to facilitate something that otherwise would have taken a very long time to settle in traditional finance. And what they've done is leveraging the XRP Ledger, which we know a couple of seconds and settlement's done, and it's super cheap. They were able to facilitate this transfer of these tokenized assets. So tokenization, in my opinion, is going to be huge. I'm personally, and this is not financial advice, you heard the disclaimer here first, but I've been buying Ondo for about a year. My dollar cost average is terrible because I started buying it when it was like $1.20. I think we all thought that last year we felt that prices should have gone higher than they went. All right. I mean, we should never assume. We should have an exit strategy, not what Merlin's for. But I anticipated that Ondo probably would have seen a little bit of a price appreciation. It's a new project, but I started buying Ondo at $1.20, like I said, and I've been buying it all the way down. And now we've had the opportunity of buying it in the 20-cent range for a little bit. Let's actually take a look at it. Let's go over here to Merlin and let's take a look at Ondo. Here we go. Let's look at this right here. Yeah, Ondo has been, so I started buying it. It was like around February. There we go. So at some point it was actually $1.60. So it might have been a bit lower. I know I'm in the, okay, there we go. Yeah, it was like the $1.20s. That's when I started buying it. Let me put this in full screen. But it's been coming down and down. And it's one of those that, launched right there in 24 and did explode. I mean, this thing launched at 10 cents. Anybody that was able to kind of get in there, even at these prices of 19 cents, you would have been able to ride it all the way up to $2. That's a 10x. So I got in too late onto this one, but honestly, I'm not too worried about it because one, I've been having the opportunity to accumulate down here. Okay. So I think that's how this works. Is that how this works? Nope. I'm still getting used to these drawing tools here from, oh, it's like that. Cool. All right. So I've been having the opportunity to continue to accumulate as prices are coming down. And as we can see, all this is going to do for you is just lower. Let me see if we have some chat. Cool. All this is going to do for you, obviously, is just give you the ability to lower your dollar cost average. So yes, I started at about $1.20, but my dollar cost average has been coming down. I think I'm like close to 50 cents now. I did deploy quite a bit more than I should have. So that's a lesson learned at $1.20. So it's taking me a little bit longer otherwise to bring that down, but I think I'm already sitting at 50. I will continue buying it because I think this is a great long-term hold. And obviously the news that we see today is an example of testing use case. Here's something that's super important, right? Is that all of the stuff that we continue to see as far as news and crypto, it's not it's not full-blown utility yet, guys, right? We see just testing happening over and over again. And so what that tells me is that we are still so early. We have the utility part of crypto to still come in. We're not even there yet for utility. This is a test that took place. It was successful. They're excited about it. Mastercard, let me bring us back to X. Mastercard tweeted about it. Ondo Finance tweeted about it. Ripple, and I'm saying tweeted, but whatever, you know what I mean, posted about it on X. Ripple posted about it. Like, these companies all are excited about what just happened here and what they were able to do. Okay. And we are talking about Mastercard, massive company. Okay. And we've heard from Mastercard and Visa that they are not taking crypto lightly. They are looking at crypto as a means of technology to continue to improve what they do. And so this successful test that they did today was massive because it proves that there is a use case to leveraging crypto to make the system better. And so Mastercard being involved, Kinexys with JP Morgan technology right there being involved as well. This just tells us what could be around the corner. And what's awesome is that Ripple is right there along with them. We knew this for a very long time. While they were getting sued by the SEC and the loom and gloom was lingering in the crypto space, we knew that it was just going to be a matter of time. They were being chosen, and that's why they got sued. Some of the most successful companies that we have today at some point got sued by the SEC. So we would even joke that it's the price to be successful. It's the price you pay to be successful. So, super exciting there. Sorry, I'm just getting a few notifications, just getting that out of the way. But yeah, I personally think that this is the start of something great because we've now got these companies that Mastercard and stuff that was able to run this successfully. And so what we can anticipate, right? Let's have a little bit of a discussion of what we can anticipate. I think we can anticipate just continuation of use case development, and we can anticipate more tests like this to take place. And the more tests like this that will take place, the more confidence the institutions will develop. Nothing is going to happen though, and we talked about this at the last week at XRP Las Vegas during the podcast, the New Wealth Transfer podcast that we do at the 3T Warrior Academy. Check out the 3T Warrior Academy channel as well, guys, because I'm a part of the New Wealth Transfer podcast. I'm a part of 3T Warrior Academy team, one of the crypto coaches there. So we do a podcast every Friday. Definitely check out the podcast. It goes live at 3:15 p.m. Eastern. It's recorded, so you guys can always watch it later. But we spoke about this at the podcast. I believe it was Johnny that brought it up. Even though crypto is in a much better place than it was even just a year ago, right? But we still need the clarity. We still need the rules of the road because the institutions, even though there is nothing we don't have the Operation Choke Point 2.0. We don't have all of the narratives that took place in 22, 23, and even parts of 24. We don't have Gary Gensler. We don't have all of those things in place that are kind of creating fear in the market and uncertainty. But we still don't have clear rules of the road. And we need the clear rules of the road because, well, the institutions need the clear rules of the road because they're just simply not willing to gamble moving on to something and not knowing if it's going to work out. And not knowing if they're going to be doing it legally. It's not so much of the workout, it's more of the legally. They don't know if they're going to be doing it legally. Their advisors are going to be telling them to kind of wait, especially since they know that regulation is just around the corner. They want to make sure they're compliant. They want to make sure that they're on the right side of the law. So we need the regulations that are currently waiting to be passed. And once they're passed, I do think that that's what's going to then allow for utility to begin to take place. It's not going to be overnight. It will be a transition though. It will be a transition that I think will snowball, and that snowball will just get bigger and bigger and bigger because as we're seeing right now, Mastercard, let me bring us over to the screen share. As we're seeing today, Mastercard got involved, right? And they did this successful test. Others will follow. Visa is going to want to do the same. PayPal, like any Stripe, all of these different payment processors, payment rails, they will all want to get involved because they all know what happened with Blockbuster. They all know what happened with Radio Shack. They all know what happened with companies that failed to innovate. If you fail to innovate in today's day, it's just a matter of time until you're not there anymore, until you lose your power, you lose your dominance. So they won't want that to happen. And in my opinion, it all comes down to regulation. And I don't think that regulation will not come. I think at this point, it's just a matter of when. We're not talking if anymore. It's not to 2023 where we have Gensler being asked, is Bitcoin a security? Well, we've determined that it's not. Okay, what about it, Ethereum? Oh, I can't comment on that. You know, we don't have those circumstances anymore. So I do believe that it's safe to say that it's just going to be a matter of when. And another thing we spoke about in last week's podcast is the fact that, well, I shared my opinion on what I think is the timeline for what we're going through right now as far as crypto. In the 3T Warrior Academy, I talk about sentiment of the market, and we are so spoiled in crypto because we have a variable. Well, it's not even a variable. We have an element in crypto that has been consistent many times already, which is the 4-year cycle for Bitcoin. We know that every 4 years, Bitcoin does a halving, and we know it's not every 4 years, it's not exactly 4 years, but more or less, right? So the point is, Bitcoin has a halving on that particular frequency, and that halving creates a bull run for Bitcoin, which that liquidity then flows into the other cryptos, into the altcoins, and we experience a bull run, right? And people make a lot of money. So isn't that a blessing? When was Bitcoin released? 2009. We had the first bull run in 2013. Then we had another bull run in 2017. And then another one in 2021. And then another one in 2025. Do you guys see the pattern there? Every 4 years, we've been able to kind of, if we had just stuck to that, we would have been able to predict it. And so I think that it's safe to say that it's very likely, due to the mechanics of how Bitcoin works and the fact that it continues to get more attention and attraction from investors. I actually just saw a video that Jeremy from the 3T Warrior Academy, shout out to Jeremy, the best CFO in the game, great friend as well. And Jeremy shared a video with us where there was these private investment. It was like a private investment club, and they upped from 1% to 2% in crypto, and a majority of it was Bitcoin. But the chatter that he shared, that the chatter that they continue to have, is the fact that they're looking at Bitcoin more and more as an alternative to gold, as somewhere safer to put your money, to beat, inflation and all of these things that we know the US dollar tends to do, which is lose value. And so it's growing as an asset. Investors are feeling, smart money is feeling more and more confident as they goes. Sorry, just reading a comment here. Brent Lewis, appreciate you being here on YouTube. And so the investors are warming up to the idea of digital currency, obviously starting out with Bitcoin, but we have that element of the 4 years. And so my anticipation in that is that 2029. But the thing is, bull run does not start, or bull run wasn't 2025. Bull run started in 2023. And here's what I mean by bull run started in 2023, because a lot of people, most people, we look at prices, right? And then like Bitcoin, 100,000, and all right, that's when the bull run began. And it's not necessarily true. Bitcoin was $15,000 during the bear market. And it went from 15,000 all the way up to 126,000. And I actually have this laid out already here. So down here, 14,000, 15,000. That's when bull run started. This was December 22 into January of 23. Okay. Look at this. We made higher highs. Thanks for the subscriber. I think that's either a subscriber or a follow. Awesome. That's a cool little sound effect. Anyway, yeah, appreciate it. So what we saw was higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And then eventually we got to the top, right up top here, 126,000. So it started right here. okay, we don't actually spend a lot of time finding a bottom. We spend about a year finding a bottom and then 3 years going up. Okay, it takes a while, but it's something that's been playing out, cycle after cycle after cycle. We have the ability to look back at this and kind of like create a compass. We know that it's the North Star. The halving of Bitcoin is the North Star for crypto and for what we can expect or when we can expect prices to appreciate. So that, honestly, in my opinion, it's a blessing, because it's way more difficult to predict markets like that, or the other markets like that. So for me, what I'm anticipating, okay, all leads down to what I was saying as far as the narrative, the news. And what I'm anticipating is that we're going to find a bottom here for Bitcoin, right? I'll continue saying Bitcoin because, again, Bitcoin takes the charge. We're going to find a bottom here for Bitcoin and for other cryptos at some point this year. The average is that the bottom comes in about a year after the top. So top came in October of 2025. Okay, October 2026, we should have our bottom in. It could be less, it could be after. The point is, that's kind of what we should anticipate. In the meantime, as investors, we have the opportunity to be buying these assets at massive discounts. Okay, I'm not saying we try to catch the bottom, because that's just so difficult. It's the same thing as trying to catch the top. But the idea is that we spend about a year, okay, going down, and then bull run will begin, okay, which won't be like crazy. Yeah, right. We saw right here, it's not going to be crazy moves, but it'll move up a little bit. Have we formed? I wish that thing would get out of the way. Let me see. I think it's from that. Let me delete it. Okay. So let's compare this move right here. We're now going up a little bit. Are we forming this, or did we already form this and now we're coming up here, meaning we already found the bottom and we're starting to go up? Or did we only, because like this looks awfully familiar. Look at this part right here. Okay. Look at this right here. And then look at this right here. I'm still getting used to these Merlin charts. I used TradingView for such a long time. This looks very familiar. After the top came in, okay, we had correction. We went sideways slightly up to then break down to the downside. So here we go. We kept doing the lower highs and lower lows, right? So are we simply just doing this right here with this move, or are we further ahead, right? That's kind of the big question. But honestly, for me, I'm keeping it simple. I'm dollar cost averaging. Could I potentially buy 10%, maybe 20% lower? Absolutely. But in my opinion, in the next 3 to 4 years, we're going to be up significantly from here. So it's going to be a win-win scenario. I'm not trying to overcomplicate it. And so as far as the timeline though, and that's kind of what I wanted to get to, is that this clarity stuff that we've been waiting to put. I am live. Gonzo, what's up, man? See you in the chat. So with this clarity stuff that's taking place, okay? Oh, that was a subscriber. Tally Moku, appreciate you subscribing. Oh, it's coming up right here on the stream. You can see it right there. So with all this stuff that's taking place, right, what I'm anticipating is that and we had this conversation in the podcast last week, and that's what I was referring to, is that all of this Clarity Act, all the stuff that we're waiting for, it's just going to fall in line right with the charts. And Gonzo is going to join me on one of these days for the live stream, and he's going to break it down for you guys. But show me the chart and I'll tell you the news. You hear that all the time. And the timeline, as I mentioned, is the fact that we're supposed to find the bottom at some point this year. And I feel like the markets have kind of just been waiting and anticipating whatever's going to come out of the Clarity Act, out of all these different policies that we're waiting to be passed. And so what is that giving us? What is that creating for the market? It's creating uncertainty, anticipation, prices going sideways. Unfortunately, there's a lot of macroeconomic uncertainty and also geopolitical stuff going on in the world. And that's just creating panic, fear, uncertainty in these markets. Prices are going sideways. We're seeing a lot of capitulation events and prices collapsing. But it's falling right within the timeline. And that's the thing that sometimes we spend so much time over analyzing, when the sweet spot is in simplicity. And the simplicity for me is, we're going to find a bottom at some point this year. and then we're going to start a bull run, and it's going to take a few years, but we're going to go up and to the right. And so that falls right in line with regulation coming in and eventually us starting to see more utility take place. And I do believe that the next few years for crypto could be different. And different because we're going to go from speculation and testing to clarity and utility. And everything is going to depend on how much volume is able to come in, how much of a difference that's going to cause. I am of the opinion that, like, a lot of people compare the internet boom with potentially something happening for crypto. A lot of people talk about how the adoption of the internet, or compare the adoption of the internet with the adoption of crypto. I think the adoption of crypto is going to be exponentially quicker, because let's remember this: the internet, people needed to have devices, people needed to have infrastructure, people needed to have the internet actually running over to their home. They needed to have a computer to be able to access the internet. Nowadays, everyone, most people, I shouldn't say everyone, I know that there's still certain parts of the world, but most people have internet, and a lot of people have more than one device they can access the internet on. We definitely didn't have devices in our pockets back then that we could access the internet with. We can do that now. And the blockchain operates on the internet. So the adoption of crypto, in my opinion, is going to be a lot quicker. We have access to way more than we had access back then. And when we even talk about the adoption of institutions, we saw that JP Morgan's technology was leveraged today for the tokenization. Once they flip the switch and they introduce more crypto services into their platforms, that's going to be an immediate access to millions of people. Customers of JP Morgan Chase, customers of Wells Fargo, Bank of America, all these mainstream banks that have millions of customers overall. Once they introduce crypto services, they will have access to it. And it's not it's not if they introduce crypto services, it's really when, because banks will add crypto services onto their platform. Because what we're seeing exchanges like Coinbase and Kraken kind of transition and trying to capture more of that side. With Coinbase, you can buy and sell stocks 24/5. The same thing with Kraken. You can have your US dollar stablecoin inside of the exchange and earn a yield, right? So that's kind of like a savings account with your bank. You have the card with Coinbase, so that this way you can actually spend the crypto or the stable coin or the dollars that you have in your account. So they are introducing bank-like services, which will create pressure and competition for traditional banks and traditional services. So it's just a matter of time until they do. So it's just, the landscape is so much different to when we had the internet starting out. I don't think the adoption of the internet can be compared to the adoption of blockchain. I do think that, don't get me wrong, we can compare the curve, but I do think that it will be exponentially quicker with crypto, because it's more accessible. Everybody already has access. Most people already have access to the internet. But yeah, so we're covering today's, for anybody that joined in, I am covering the news that we had today from Mastercard, Ondo, Kinexys from JP Morgan, and Ripple process that tokenization, which only took a couple of seconds to settle. And that's exactly what XRP does really well. XRP, I had this conversation a lot of times during coaching, as well as I'm explaining the different cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin was created to be peer-to-peer cash, but we know that sending Bitcoin is expensive. Sending Bitcoin takes a long time. It's not the type of crypto that you really want to pay somebody with, or even banks leverage as a means of cross-border payments. It's not. I'm not saying that Bitcoin has no use. It does. It has a great use, which is being a store of value. It's compared like gold, and so it's gaining that momentum for being a store of value. Fantastic. But something like an XRP, where you can send $1 million, it'll cost you a fraction of a cent, and it'll only take 2 to 3 seconds to settle. Now, that's a technology that really does that much better. And I know XRP is not the only one. There are others, but Ripple has really been front running this creation of technology and partnerships, and they continue to leverage the technology, the XRPL, in a way where it puts, because the banks are going to need a system, and Ripple is creating those systems, and they're creating it in partnership with other companies. And so this piece of news is just really awesome to see. It's that one thing that we knew was going to come past the lawsuit that Ripple had to face against the SEC. We knew they would continue to thrive, and they did. They've been acquiring. Their verticals have grown. They're in a lot more industries than that they were. It's not just settlements anymore. They are tokenization. They are custody, enterprise custody. So it's a lot, and really excited because, as I mentioned at the beginning of my stream, I am also invested in, or I've been investing for the past year in Ondo. So that's been exciting as well. Let me see if the chat is showing now. Still not showing. Man, I gotta fix this, guys. So we used to go live with a different software, and I'm using a different one to do these lives for myself. It's really cool because it's got a lot of functionalities, but I'm still learning. And so that's why I'm going live once in a while and kind of just playing around with it. And I had some technical difficulties at the beginning, but here I am. Appreciate it. Yeah, so like that, I'll be able to share the, because I don't have an option to do that from here. Correct. Yeah, I don't. Cool. Yeah, the live chat's supposed to show here on the right side, right here. But it's not showing up right now. So I'll fix that for the next live stream. Yeah, it's not showing. Cool. But yeah, crypto's not going anywhere, guys. Crypto adoption is just getting started. Once we have clarity from these bills, I really think that that's going to then allow these institutions to just be more comfortable and play in the space some more. And really, that's what it comes down to. Let's see what comments we have in the chat. DCA is the best strategy. This is from Gonzo. Shout out to Gonzo. DCA is the best strategy. Myers are 100% correct on that. I started to DCA Bitcoin at the top. I'm up on that right now. That's huge. Think about that for a second. Gonzo started DCAing at the top, meaning he was buying at around 120,000. And right now he's up, right? Which means that because of the time, and I'm sure it has to do with when he started, but because of the correction and we spent such a long time in that high 60s and 70s, low 70s, that allowed him to just bring his dollar cost average down. And so when we as investors, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, disclaimer, but as investors, we want to capitalize on our investments. We want to make money. And so think about this. If you are investing and what are the chances that you're going to be profitable in a year? And then what are the chances you're going to be profitable in 5 years? And I think we can all agree that the probability of us being profitable in 5 years is far greater than the probability of us being profitable in 1 year. So the longer time horizon you can have, obviously the better. Conviction is so important though. Understanding what you're invested in. You should not go buy Ondo just because I talked about Ondo right now and I said I'm buying it. You should buy Ondo because you research it and you see for what it is and you want to invest in it. That's going to give you the conviction. That's going to give you, and it's a type of conviction that, for example, I had when Ripple got sued by the SEC. It was the conviction that told me nothing changes as far as my optimism for the asset. I am going to double down, or I'm going to hang on and hold on and not sell, right? That conviction is something that you otherwise are going to be in massive amounts of anxiety, trying to listen to whoever you listen to that ended up telling you about a particular crypto, and you're going to be waiting for them to kind of say what they're doing before you take action, right? So if you're investing in Ondo, you could be like, oh, let me go and listen to Mario to see if he's still buying Ondo, or if like something happens. Let me check the live chat. I don't know. I saw some stuff coming in and I just wanted to see if the live chat was working. Gonzo, every Friday I buy. Yeah, man, it's just, I think that we have a good amount of time here where we can continue to accumulate these assets and lead us to that bull run. And potentially that bull run starts here in the next year or so, maybe less. And we see our portfolio grow over the next 3-4 years. And it's done it multiple times. And that's why I think that it's almost like this one thing. It's like the elephant in the room. Everybody knows about it, but everybody forgets about it, right? It's the 4-year cycle. It's happened already multiple times. What is it? So 13, 17, 21, 25. That's 4 times already. The mechanics of Bitcoin are not going to change. I think we can all agree that Bitcoin adoption continues to grow. The asset will for sure mature. There will be diminishing returns, but it's still growing. The rest of crypto has not really had that spark of clarity yet. And so eventually I think there's going to be a decoupling from that Bitcoin 4-year cycle thing. But for now, we have that to rely on. So it's that one thing that we all know about, but we all forget about. So I'm going to continue just keeping it simple. And for me, that's what it is. I will continue dollar cost averaging. I will continue monitoring these markets for what's exciting. And to me, news like I just covered is super exciting because it shows us that development's taking place. It shows us that big institutions and companies are paying very close attention to this and taking it seriously. Mastercard's taking it seriously. JP Morgan, Ripple, Ondo. And so, yeah, and I'll continue to come here on the channel and cover it. I'll be on the 3T Warrior Academy as well. For anybody that hasn't checked out the 3T Warrior Academy, let me actually pull up the YouTube channel so that you guys can check it out. But we go live every Friday for a podcast at 3:15 p.m. It's called the New Wealth Transfer Podcast. And that's where all of us at the team over at 3T Warrior Academy just kind of talk about whatever is the topic for that day. It's honestly a very cool dynamic because we all have very interesting opinions and specialties. We all specialize in different things. Got a comment here from Soul of Hefe over on YouTube. Been buying B-Chain DPP loss in 2026. Yeah, VeChain is an awesome one. VeChain actually pivoted towards tokenization. I saw that their website. I was very big into VeChain back in 21, but and I know they still have very, very good solid presence. They've sponsored the UFC for a long time. They've got a really good relationship there with tokenizing a lot of what UFC does as well. They've pivoted to focusing primarily on tokenization. They used to be a what is that called? Supply chain management. They used to focus on essentially tokenization of supply chain management. So they were in the tokenization business, right? But it's just now that they've transitioned to just being tokenization in general. But anyway, pivoting back here. So 3T Warrior Academy, for any of you guys, Coach JV in his channel, we go live every Friday, the New Wealth Transfer Podcast. All of our team, sometimes a couple of us can't make it, but it's a really awesome dynamic because we all have different opinions, different things we specialize in, and it's just awesome to be able to share that. And we've been getting really good feedback. So check that out every Friday. I will be coming on here on my channel and going live more frequently. I was planning to do it at Tuesdays and Thursdays. I talked to Gonzo about that. Okay, sorry about that. I talked to Gonzo about that. I'm still trying to get in the rhythm of things. I will be also doing regular videos. Yeah, just wanted to come on here and cover. I will be bringing on Gonzo on one of these days and other guests too, Abs, Johnny, potentially, other members, friends and stuff. So figure out your core projects, Gonzo. Figure out your core project. So I decided to really just consolidate. I had a bunch of like just $500 in this one and $200 on that one and $150 and even like $50 on these other ones. And I just consolidated everything into Bitcoin. I was like, okay, I'm going to go more Bitcoin heavy. I'm happy with the positions that I have and the ones that I want to have, like XRP. And so for me right now, my main three, honestly, it's Bitcoin, XRP, and Ondo. I do want to accumulate a couple of others. I'm actually considering, and I talked to Gonzo at the conference last week about this. We talked about Ethereum. I think Ethereum is going to make a comeback. And so probably I have a bit of Ethereum and I'm probably going to start buying some more Ethereum. But for right now, I've really only been buying Bitcoin and Ondo because I have still a lot of XRP from before. I only sold like 10% of my XRP. In the last cycle. Actually, I think less than that. Yeah, less than that. So I want to build my Bitcoin position. I want to build my Ondo position, and probably I'll start buying some more Ethereum as well. So keeping it simple, but yeah. Guys, check out the links down below. As I said, you can see the Merlin and the XRP Investor logos. These are companies that I'm a part of. If you want to check it out, thexrpinvestor.com. It is the platform for XRP enthusiasts. It's where you can find everything about XRP. I call it the premier platform for XRP researchers and enthusiasts. So check that out. There's a free account that you can create. There is a pro that you can pay $6 a month and gives you access to awesome data. It's honestly very cheap for what you get. But if you want to support me, definitely check that out. Otherwise, Merlin, which is the smartest way to track your crypto. These are both companies that I'm a part of, companies that I own. XRP investor, I own it solely. At Merlin, I'm an investor and also the chief experience officer. But if you want to support me, check those out. Also, my links are in the description down below. Follow me, and on YouTube, I forget to say it, but smash that like button, guys. I really appreciate if you could smash that like button so that these videos could start to gain more awareness from everybody else in the community. And subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I go live. As always, this is not financial advice, but I can be your financial friend, as somebody in our community once said. I appreciate everybody that's been here with me today. I will be coming back live here another day. I'll communicate it on my channels. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.